So hi, I'm Professor Amy Keeley, and I am one of the professors in the School of Business, and I wanted to talk about the use of artificial intelligence in school. And it's really important because it is a hotly contested debate amongst all of us. So we all have different ideas on what we think are artificial intelligence. There are people like me that are very concerned about it in the educational platform of higher education. We know that it's used in the professional world, but using AI has some real detriments to you as a student. So we're going to talk about those. We also have professors that are very positive, pro-positive on using AI in higher education. And there's a way to use it, and you have to make sure you read the course syllabus, because if you're a professor like me that has a no AI policy, then anytime you use AI, it can cost you a zero, if not being reported to the Office of Student Compliance for violating a policy. So let's go into what it is. So yes, the most common sources of AI can be found on ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or even Gronk. But there's more cunning sources of AI, which are in Microsoft and Google, and I'll show you how that works. And the reason why is that if you're using those, and if somebody does want to run an AI checker, even if you're doing it in Google, or even if you're writing an email in Microsoft, it can look like AI, and I'll show you how. But more importantly, why personally do I not like AI? First of all, besides the fact that you're training your job replacement, and AI will replace most of the jobs in the future, because when you put information in AI, even if you're doing it for an assignment, it's still thinking. It's learning from every single piece of data that you put into it. But what do you lose by using AI as a student? So you're here to learn critical thinking. Critical thinking is critical in the business world. It's called problem solving. If you don't learn problem solving, you are not going to succeed in the business world, and you will be going from job to job to job because it's all about problem solving. So critical thinking is, especially when you're writing, is learning to ask yourself questions like who, what, where, when, why, and how. So who did it? What were they doing? Where were they doing it? When were they doing it? Why were they doing it? And how were they doing it? So when you're writing a paper, in order for you to fill out a paper into multiple paragraphs, you have to start to ask yourself these questions in the context of the assignment so that you can now ask more questions. Because if you're starting to write papers here that are 3 sentences, that is not good in my particular class. Again, read your course policies from your instructor, but that's why I have a word count. Because in order for you to fully answer the question so that we as professors know that you understand the concepts learned, you have to write a detailed paragraph. And using these questions become a real asset for you to be able to fill out a paragraph that answers all the questions so that we know that you understood the assignment, and we will grade you higher for it. But let me be very, very clear for those that take my class. I'm an English major. That means I don't even need an AI checker to know when you used AI. And I won't tell you why that I know, but just know that I know. Because if I give it to you, you'll know how to be able to correct for it. But what I do for my classes is that I will identify AI, because again, I'm an English major and I can tell. I will go out to an AI checker that will tell me what percentage of AI you used, and I will tell you what percentage that you used. But I know that you've used it. So the AI checker isn't for me. It's for my students to know what they're doing wrong so that they can correct for it on the next paper. But you will receive a 0 in my class for that paper if I've identified that you used AI. So the English language is very complex. So responses that are too perfect tell me that artificial intelligence was used. You're not at the level in a community college to be able to write absolutely perfect papers. You're just not. So any paper that has, and I'm not talking about slight corrections. I mean, I can literally tell throughout the entire paper if it's been written by AI. So again, I will use an AI checker just so that you know that I know that you used AI. Again, in my classes, 0s are given, but you'll want to read the course policies for your instructors to see what their policy is on AI. But the reason why for me, it becomes more important, as I mentioned earlier, you are learning for your 4-year college transfer. And they have, almost all four-year colleges have a zero tolerance on AI and have policies written that way. So if you take what you learn here at LCC and think that you're going to be able to do it at a four-year college, you could get expelled from a four-year college for violating their policies. That's why I take it very seriously and to heart, making sure that you're successful learning here at LCC, so that whatever school you transfer to, you're set up for success, especially not using AI. But if you're thinking about AI, again, it's easy to think about just putting the questions that we ask you into ChatGPT, and please do not be fooled that we don't know what you do. We are very aware what every student does to try to cheat their way through a program. The answer is you're only cheating yourself. When you cheat and use AI because you didn't write it and you didn't format it and you didn't do the proofreading on it, all you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure in the business world. Because at some point, AI is not going to be there for you to give an answer. If you're in a meeting, you can't stop and say, oh, let me take that question, Mr. Client, and put it in AI and see what AI says. It just doesn't work that way. So while you can cheat in some areas, it will catch up with you in the end. But the more deceptive ways are through Microsoft, Google, and in products like Grammarly. So let me give you an example. Look at where the cursor's at. The cursor is between the word G and O. But if you look at the words I, am, and G, they're in dark black. The words O-I-N-G and to are in gray. It's because they haven't been written yet. I literally have not written the word going. Microsoft figured out what I was saying and gave me a suggestion of what to use. If I click to accept that suggestion, that's artificial intelligence. And I will tell you, I'm very stubborn. I won't use AI. I will literally type the word out myself rather than have AI do it for me. But again, if I were to run an AI checker on you, or a four-year college was to run an AI checker on you, that is considered artificial intelligence because you didn't form the word yourself. You accepted a suggestion by an artificial intelligence computer. Here's another kind of example. When you are typing in Google to do a search for maybe a research that you're doing for a paper, you see where it says it's in kind of a purple color? That purple color is a suggestion by Google's AI finishing the sentence for me. Again, there's another example, just like what happened in Microsoft, where it's finishing your thought for you, and if you accept it, then you are taking Google's AI suggestion, and that's how deceptive it can be. So in creating this presentation, I'll show you where it happened. You can see down here, this little word is where. It's underlined by Microsoft, and I'll explain to you a little bit how that works. Up here under grammar, if I had taken this suggestion, it would have been incorrect. That's not how you say the form of where that I'm using. But it will give you a suggestion. If I take that suggestion, then it can ultimately look like AI. Now I can go, oh, that's, maybe it is the word I want to use. Then go type it yourself, but don't accept the suggestion and let it do it for you, because it will look like AI because you didn't write it, something else write it for you, and you just accepted it. So again, that's how deceptive AI can be with its suggestions. And I don't mind that you use the suggestions, but you have to type out the words and you have to make it your own, not using the suggestions to write for you. So I want to watch this video real quick so that you can understand a little bit more about what I mean.
Did you know that Google Docs now has an AI feature called Help Me Write? Let's try it out. Open Google Doc and click Help Me Write. Enter your prompt, then click on Create. A few seconds, and you'll have the answer. Now you can make some changes, analyze it, and improve it to your liking. Highlight the text you want to work with. Click the Help Me Write icon. Choose the desired function from the available options, and you're good to go.
So again, we are not unaware that these options are out there and available to you. But again, When you get into your professional career, absolutely use them as much as you'd like. But while you are in a learning environment, these are not acceptable, especially in my class. But again, read the course policies for your instructors, regardless, because if you violate their policies, they can give you a 0 and or report you to the Office of Student Compliance for violating their policies. So make sure that you understand about AI. So again, we all know that these are out there and we don't want you to use them because we feel like, or especially I do, feel like learning comes from doing. And using this, and I've had a lot of excuses from students of, oh, I just used it for formatting, I just used it for proofing. It's not acceptable in certain classrooms, including mine. So we all watch for it very carefully. So please know that we're watching, and it's not as if we don't know. I mean, I think a lot of students think that we don't look and that we're going to let it go by. We don't. But there are ways to avoid using AI and being able to get a good paper. So write how you would naturally write to get your ideas on paper. So for example, when I write, I don't write for perfection, right? I'm writing just to get my ideas on a piece of paper. If I have typos, it's okay. If it's not formatted properly, that's okay. The first step in any editing process of any publishing house is just to let the author write their ideas down on paper to capture them. Then you go back in round 2 and you then replace words with terms. So if you were using, for example, these things, as I mentioned earlier, go back and upgrade that word choice to something that's professional. So again, writing a paper isn't just writing it, it's going back and looking at it several times to see how you can improve it before you turn it in. And then use the APA formatting guide. I know I put mine in the week 1 of my D2L, where I have videos that go over it, that I have how to be able to convert from MLA to APA. And then there's also visit the LCC library. That library is there with a lot of contact and information that you can use that will help you be able to write a successful paper. But most importantly, rather than you using AI, I would much rather you go to the LCC Writing Center. You don't have to physically go in person, you can go online, but you can send them where you wrote it down in ideas and ask them for help. If you don't know a particular word choice, ask them if they can help you find a better word choice. Ask them if they can help you format your paper. Ask them if they can help you with the APA writing. And ultimately, if you're really struggling to write, contact your success coach and ask for a writing tutor. Because again, you're going to need to know how to write in the 4-year college, and you're going to have to know how to write in the professional world. And yes, there are some times where you could get away with AI, but more often than not, you will not be able to. AI is heavily used by the marketing departments across the country, but it's used for creating content for social media. It's now being abused, and a lot of companies are looking at it because now you're putting confidential information into a public platform that's there to learn. So you could be giving top secrets away. You could be giving your own ideas away. Like you might have an entrepreneurial idea that you've just given to ChatGPT because you asked it to help write your paper. Guess who now has access to your intellectual property? The world. So you have to start to learn how to write on your own and using the LCC Writing Center to help you. So here's how you can reach the LCC library. If you don't know how to be able to find it, just go to the LCC main page, type in library, and it will give you the link to the library. And the same thing for your academic success coach. All students have an academic success coach. There's the phone number, there's the email address, and you can find them by going in and searching academic success coach on the main page of lcc.edu and be able to contact them quickly. So the next video to discuss is how you turn in your paper and submission formats that are acceptable.